James Charles began his journey to become an influencer back in 2015 when he started his YouTube channel, and in just 7 years, his career is practically dead in the water. He started out really strong, and after going viral in 2016, he even ended up becoming the first male brand ambassador for CoverGirl. For a while, it looked like there was nowhere to go but up for the beauty YouTuber, but after a handful of feuds with other influencers and allegations of him grooming minors came out, there was nowhere for James to hide. Now, most of what has come out about James and his downfall can basically be traced back to a 2-week period in 2019. During this time, fellow makeup artist and collaborator of James, Tati Westbrook, decided that she could no longer work with him. In a 43-minute video uploaded by Tati and titled "Bye Sister," she explained that she was ending her friendship with James Charles for multiple reasons, including the fact that he endorsed a direct competitor to her vitamin brand Halo Beauty. In the video, Westbrook also went on to expose her fellow influencer and claimed that Charles used his fame as leverage to sexually manipulate straight young men. Tati went into detail when telling a story to back up her claim that James tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay. Those were her own words before telling a story about James allegedly going into explicit detail about what he wanted to do to a waiter by the name of Sam Cook that was working at Tati's birthday party. After learning that the waiter was straight, James allegedly said that the waiter's sexual preference didn't matter because James Charles was a celebrity. These claims seemed to prove true when it was discovered that James had found the waiter's Instagram account and began DMing him right away. Sam actually posted a video of his own, confirming that not only did Charles reach out to him on Instagram, but once the YouTuber found out that Sam was bi-curious at the time, he asked him to meet up. Sam claimed that the two made out for about an hour, but that was all that happened. And a few weeks later, when James reached out and offered to fly Sam out to LA so that they could spend some time together, Sam explained that he thought about the situation and came to the conclusion that he was straight and didn't have any interest in James. And over the span of a week, after all this information began coming out, James began bleeding followers. On his YouTube account alone, he lost 3.5 million subscribers in just that week, and in that process even set a world record. The record was for the most subscribers lost in a single day, which ended up being 1.26 million subscribers. And it's a record that James still holds to this day. This was all happening to James as more and more allegations began to come out about him only being attracted to heterosexual men and believing that he could convince them to be gay. In a video posted that showcased James driving in his car and explaining what he found attractive in a man, he said he needed them to be straight. And when the person filming him joked about that being easy for James, the YouTuber replied by saying, "It's easier than you would think." And if that mindset wasn't dangerous enough, things got much worse for James in the coming years. Let's fast forward a little bit to the earlier parts of 2021, when James Charles said something really strange that got a lot of people thinking and ended up bringing a lot of evidence against the YouTuber to light. While doing an interview for the Impulsive podcast, James brought up the fact that he was not attracted to older guys. And in his own words, he said, "I would date the absolute youngest, like 18 or 19, that looks a little bit older." And those words would come back to bite him hard. Shortly after the podcast was released, a young man named Isaiah made a post insinuating that James hit on him despite knowing that Isaiah was underage. In the tweet, Isaiah wrote, "If you're going to text someone, make sure you know their age." He added me on Insta. My Insta has my TikTok, which shows me age, at James Charles. The teen, who was 16 at the time he posted the tweet, then followed it up with a video that explained and showed proof that James Charles added him on Snapchat. At first, Isaiah was thrilled because he said he looked up to the YouTuber, but once James started acting inappropriately, Isaiah shut the whole thing down and ended up blocking the makeup artist. In the video, the 16-year-old showed pictures that he took of the snaps that he was receiving from the YouTuber, and we can't even repeat some of the quotes because of how explicit they were. It was at this point that Isaiah claimed that James was sending him lewd pictures of himself and asking for some in return, which is when the 16-year-old began feeling really uncomfortable and informed the makeup artist that he was a minor. But that didn't stop James from allegedly saying that he still wanted to see pictures of the teenager. And although a lot of these claims couldn't be substantiated with a lot of evidence since they were on Snapchat, which disappears after you look at it, Isaiah wasn't the only minor to claim that James had reached out to them. James initially tried to deny the allegations that he had attempted to groom a minor, hoping that his fanbase would take his side in the matter and believe that he had not had any ill intentions with the 16-year-old. The teen wasn't backing down though, and went on to post screenshots proving that he was the one who blocked James, and not the other way around. And when 3 other minors came out and shared similar stories, his argument claiming that he wasn't trying to groom anyone seemed to shatter to pieces. A TikTok user, Life of Uzzy, posted a video claiming that James reached out to him asking for pictures of him shirtless, along with more explicit photos. This led to a huge amount of backlash against James Charles, with other YouTubers and podcast owners making jokes at his expense, and even saying that he deserved to be put in prison for his actions. It was clear that almost no one was buying James's side of the argument, and with that much evidence against the YouTuber, it's not hard to see why everyone was turning against him. All this controversy saw James's career fall to shambles, and his income dwindle from almost all sources. He was officially removed from the YouTube Partnership Program, which means that he can't earn money or ad revenue off his YouTube videos anymore. And on top of that, his absolutely massive makeup deal with Morph ended up falling through due to the allegations. James was also removed from the hosting position of the YouTube series Instant Influencer, and though he has since tried to make a comeback by posting various apology videos, he is yet to be able to bounce back. What do you think about James Charles and the grooming allegations against him? Will he ever make a comeback? Let us know in the comments below.